Was this not the problem? What Ango Abdullahi has alleged, is it not on ground? Think about, was it in Sokoto or so we heard that 74 persons were just killed in one fell swoop, and then that the bandits came with a motorcycle, maybe over 100 of them or so. This has been happening in Zamfara State. This happens in Katsina State, and sometimes in Kaduna State. So I don't know how many, maybe the entire North should be enmeshed in it before Femi Adesina will accept the reality. The fact remains that one is looking for a way to protect one's job, but not making what is real to be otherwise. So for me, Ango Abdullahi, a general without soldiers, a featherweight, and all the rest of them, like I said, Northern Elders Forum remains a force to be reckoned with in this country. Right. And the Aso Rock and the presidency cannot say they don't know about it.
Okay, as I move to Dr. Sado, let me just quickly say this. Masari recently, too, was given an insight into how the military is unable to deal with the banditry and the issues of the North. Masari, in an interactive session with journalists in Katsina, said the military and police did not have adequate manpower and equipment required to operate in all the trouble spots across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Even members of the armed forces have limited capacity in terms of equipment available to them and the money given them, Masari added. He stated that despite the peace agreement entered with the bandits, they in coordinated attacks with their accomplices from Zamfara, Kaduna, and other neighboring states have continued with indiscriminate killings across Katsina State. According to him, under the exclusive list as enshrined in the Constitution, security is the sole responsibility of the federal government, adding that we provide 90% in terms lasted for only 7 months. Arced by the collapse of the peace deal is that the state government could no longer negotiate with the bandits because they have breached the rapprochement between them and government. Masari lamented the resurgence of banditry and kidnapping in the state despite the peace accord. 2 peace deals were separately signed by Masari. The role of the state government at the moment was to complement the efforts of security agencies to flush out the hoodlums rather than cutting a deal with them. He said, we entered into various phases of dialogue with the bandits on the prompting of the security agencies. By the time we completed talks, we reached an agreement on so many solutions. Even if we were not able to meet their demands 100%, we were able to meet between 70 and 80%. But the peace accord, for my records, did not last for more than 6 to 7 months. Then it broke down again. This is the position we're in at the moment.
Criminally scandalous.
Yeah.
It reached 60 to 70%. What are the terms? Those terms they are meeting with criminals. I mean, the system is broken. Unfortunately, those at the helm of affair in this country are not speaking or accepting the reality. If the governor of a state could speak with frustration in this manner, you can imagine what the people in those localities are going through. Unfortunately, our political leaders have become numb to the feelings of the people. And when you hear the audacious manner in which what's his name, Femi Adesina, responded to the issues raised by Ango Abdullahi, you're wondering, are these people still within here? Are they in the country? Do they listen to the news? Does the president actually know that these things are happening? Additional, did he get the president's nod to give this kind of response to a germane issue? People are raising issues about life, about the state of insecurity, and all you have to say is that the man is a paperweight. He doesn't have soldiers. Was he expected to have soldiers? Even if it was being metaphorical. I mean, that metaphor doesn't even sit in. So I think that the system is broken. We have to accept that. And I hope that we don't get to a point of anarchy, because that's where ultimately we're going to. When you lose, the reason you have a government is that we jointly give our mandate to a group of people to secure us. When it becomes absolutely impossible to realize that objective, people are going to defend themselves. And when we get to that point, it will be a dangerous thing to happen in this country. Unfortunately, that's where the government is driving us towards. In fact, as we're talking about the Agua in Uguta also, who was killed in his farm. And these are stories. So we merely generate these statistics and we talk about them, and it doesn't mean anything to them. You can, I don't know if there's any state, maybe Lagos State, that is
even Lagos.
Or even Lagos. Now, so I don't even know where. I told you, if we're not going to the eastern part of the north, where we're going to the west, we can drive all the way, even in the night. We'll drive to Sokoto, driven from here to Sokoto, and all the other parts. But we can't do that anymore because the roads have become very dangerous. Then talk about the farms. And of course, as we're talking here, some of us who are interested in farming, I have a portion of land I should be cultivating. I can't go there because of fear of banditry. So the point has to be made that these people must accept this reality that we have a challenge in our country. Now, if you accept that, another thing will be to deal with it, but to live in denial, you are not helping these people at all. And he went about attacking Ango Abdullahi. How is that going to be a solution to the problem? Attacking the man because he has raised a point. Now, I think what we need to do now is for the rest of this to begin to have a national front. Because the way Ango Abdullahi spoke, he spoke about the north. This has been happening in the south over Nasarawa. They've become theater of war, and it's all no thanks to banditry. And as you move down, even as close as Ebonyi State, Enugu State, we have seen this. These have become front lines. So I think what need to do is that organizations like the one of Ango Abdullahi, the ones in the south and southeast, should begin to come together now to think of how to produce a blueprint of dealing with this, because obviously the government has lost it, and of course the security leaders in this country, the president seems to have so much confidence in them, even when they are not delivering. There's been call on him to change the personnel, but even when the governor of Katsina, Masari, was talking about them not being well equipped, and you ask yourself, defense and the police, they've always had more money than education in this country, from the time of the military even up to this moment. And you're asking yourself, what are they doing with this money they are giving to them? So we need to begin to think about the nation. Let's forget about this regional approach, because we have shouted in the south, we've shouted in the middle belt, and suddenly the northern part of this country is experiencing it. And so we can see now that it's truly a national issue. It's not a religious, it's not an ethnic issue. It's a national challenge. Unfortunately, the government in power that I can talk to solve the problem of insecurity in the country.
All right, then. Got your thoughts on that, Daniel Momo?
Yes, Annie, as Ango Abdullahi and the presidency, that war of words, I think the center of it all is that people's life have been affected physically, emotionally, communities being wiped out, economic life taken away completely from people. I saw when the Borno State governor went to one of the villages that was attacked recently. You saw cameras showing them bodies lying on the ground. These are human beings. My life is not better than those people. I don't have two, or maybe they had one. That was why they died. But it was because the person they have paid to do the job is not doing what it's supposed to do. And the presidency must accept that.
All right.
Go from Zamfara to Katsina. Now it has even turned to a normal thing. I was watching a video the other day where, in fact, they now have something they call in Zamfara, they call it toll gates. Bandits collect money. They sit there on the road. They sit there. They take money from people, from villagers who pass.
Oh, have a chat.
Just in Katsina, the day they protested, the next day they were attacked. And so what does it then say about the kind of security that we run in this country? And many a time, people have shouted, look, these military chiefs are tired. From 2015, these military chiefs are tired. Bring in other ones. Today we would hear, oh, if there's any attack, I'm going to change them. Oh, I'm not aware they have led Bruno. Oh, I didn't know they were in Benue. All of this would not solve. If we look at this side that we are today, maybe you talk about oil theft, gang arms, cultism, is different from areas like Borno, is different from areas like Zamfara.
Okay.
And so we now begin to look at, and that is why I accept with this regional type of government in terms of security. We in the South know what our problems are. Let it not be that the IG of police is the one who now sits down and determine that, okay, this is the kind of security or the policing that would go to this state. And when something go wrong, and then the IG will now have what they call the IG squad. Those ones are the ones who will now come and do the magic. No, we don't want that. In the north, now let me just center my argument in the north because of Ango Abdullahi mentioned Annie. There is a serious problem in the north in terms of wealth creation and wealth distribution. It's a very serious issue. People are poor. Yes, you might not say maybe there is no correlation between hunger and some of this crime, but people are poor. To the extent that, remember the drug issue that came out? Was it that BBC raised them? See the kind of drugs from age 13 to about 35. All kinds of manner of drugs that people take, including smoking gutter water.
Okay.
Those are human beings, Annie. And the thing is that the government is saying we want to phase out the Almajiri system. What kind of system are you going to put these people? Is it in the same type of educational system that some persons they have rejected? What kind of educational system do you want to put them? 2, you are phasing out beggars and taking, for example, you take this beggar and say 100 of them, you are from where? Kano State, and you go and dump them in Kano State. What provision would Kano State be having for them? Now, it's an exchange of Almajiri and beggars in the north. Taking this from this state, taking that from that state. What do they have for them? If, for example, this government goes out, remember the Goodluck Jonathan's time? It was the Almajiri schools that were being built. Today, nobody follows that again. Now it's another thing. What if this go? What would happen? And so entirely, I think that the North itself would have to account for its own people, account for the kind of government it runs. Because, for example, when we talk about this, how do they call it now? In the South here, when we talk about having government, I've forgotten that word now, that allow us manage our own wealth, allow each state or each region restructuring. The North vehemently went against it. Remember when the Amoteco issue came up?
Yeah.
The North had a meeting, governors, and said they are okay with the kind of policing from the center to the states, but it is not working.
Right.
Where do we go from here? Those are questions that we need to begin to ask ourselves. And lastly, Annie, on the Ango, I said it the other day here, I have a problem with Ango Abdullahi issuing. Ango Abdullahi can issue a statement by himself. He's a respected person in the North. But to now said, because in his language he was using the group never met. Under him, the middle belt broke away and said Ango Abdullahi was writing statements that does not reflect what is happening in the middle belt. Today, the middle belt has broken away. They now have their own forum. And so what meeting? Where did Ango Abdullahi had a meeting with some group of persons who now decided this is what he should issue? NGF is Ango Abdullahi. Ango Abdullahi is NGF. He just said the right statement, signed and said, the northern this thing. The president is from the north.
All right.
So is Ango Abdullahi speaking on his behalf?
All right. Okay. Maybe the elders. What did you mean? Let's get to you now.
Yeah, I think let us just leave the messenger and take the message. I'm not a fan of Professor Ango. The reason is that he has been one of the leaders of ethnicity when it comes to and nepotism when it comes to Nigerian politics. So each time I see his voice or his write-up, I don't regard it. I don't even read it on pages of newspaper. But let us look at what he's saying today and try to juxtapose it with what is happening today with the administration of this present administration. And when a government, I just thought the whole problem is just from the brand of politics we play in Nigeria. And sometimes I blame political parties. It is time for reform. When I say reform, it is high time we begin to rewrite, the issue of the constitution of political parties, where candidates will be screened to the latter. And if possible, some of them can swear, can go under oath, not even by Bible, take them to shrine. You see, it has become a norm that, persons could just stay like this, especially oligarchies in the party could just stay like this and say, look, these are the persons we want. And you begin to look at the personalities of those people that will represent a particular place. I want to relate it to what is happening today in the north. Now you begin to look at the personalities. Remember when Danjuma came out to say, look, we should, every other persons, after the killings, I think in Benue, he said Nigerians should start, going on self-defense, that they are tired of the security architecture in Nigeria. If you look at the tantrums, the aspersions that went the following day from the presidency, it almost killed Danjuma. But today the result is the case. Most of us can see with our eyes. There is no day, I think the other day, love day came that he's praying that a day should come when he will take coke, that nobody will die in Nigeria, that he wants to drink coke. And I don't think he will drink it, but I pray he drinks it. Because even as we are sitting now, people are dying. What is happening? I saw Brutai and I looked at his age. I'm not looking at his age based on, but I'm just beginning to look at the technology that is being used. What are the tactics? Do we really have tactics? Does Nigeria security, do we really have tactics? You go with, vehicles that are updated. Even the ones they brought, some of them cannot use it very well. So we need restructuring. First of all, we have to restructure the military architecture. Who are those that are there? Some of them are tired. We hear they deploy somebody to Borno. Each time they deploy, Boko Haram gets angry. Most of the places are being attacked today. And those places that are attacked today by Boko Haram are military cantonments. Places that should be seen as fortress. But you see these boys, you call them illiterate. The way they dress, they don't put on camouflage. They wear cap, simple caps, and they walk into military cantonment. Dislodge soldiers that are on duty. 2 days ago, I was reading what happened in Mongono. I saw how people were, Boko Haram brought people and they were about preaching to them. Before you know, they massacred them. In fact, it was worse than what Adolf Hitler did. They were killed in cold blood. And they operated for some hours. Nobody came to their rescue. Recently, I hear that Peace what gave a car to Nigerian soldiers on innocence moto. I wonder if they are keeping it in the archive. Nobody is using it.
No, that's not true.
No,
if it's the vehicles, hold on. If it's the vehicles that Innocent Motors was contracted to manufacture, they are in use. The ones that have been delivered are being used.
And whichever way you want to beautify it.
I'm not beautifying it. You said they packed it.
Okay.
And I don't want you to send that information out because it's false. They didn't pack it.
Okay.
They are using it. I don't know about which one is the proper way of using it. They are using
now
it.
Is the number of deaths we are seeing today. Now look at Masare. You are having an accord with criminals, bandits. These are people that have been killing on daily basis.
But I don't think that's new. I mean, even here,
we had it now.
we had
amnesty
for cult people.
And what happened?
That's the
Are they
point.
still shouting?
Yes. Yeah. What do you mean? They're not shouting. They are
I
shouting.
belong to a party.
Hold on. It's not party matter.
I know what
okay,
I
let me
want to
answer. It's not party. Yes, they're still shouting. Yes.
They are still shouting.
Yes, they
but
are.
you can come to studio freely. Can you walk in?
Even before they had
before
they had the resolution, I was coming to the studio freely.
Annie, it is no more like that. It's no more.
I hope you know that people have not all died in Katsina. People still go to the radio station in Katsina.
I don't think it's free. Though you can't travel. Like you said, you went to Sokoto. I don't think you can go to Sokoto.
I just get on with
I
it.
think it is high time that we begin to look at those that are managing the security leadership. The likes of Brutai, I think Brutai is even tired. If anybody should call him and ask him, he will tell you he's tired. But just because there is money involved. Now we remember when the IG of police was sent to Borno, they asked him to relocate. And I don't know if he has relocated. Because every time they relocate, Boko Haram gets angry. So I think we have written a lot of papers. We have done a lot of communiques. We have had a call with these criminals. Is that how they do in Senakline? So I think it's high time to send this fight to them. We have the young military men, people who graduated from NDA. Are they just keeping them in museum? What are those boys supposed to do? Those new people that have graduated from NDA. So I think there is no sincerity in the leadership of this country. You have promised the people. Do you know what it means to stand and tell Nigerians upon your manifesto, telling us that you will fight insecurity? That was the first thing, the first mandate that Nigerians gave to the president, even though I didn't vote for him. But what is happening now? I can't even go to some places in Middle Belt. It's like a morning ritual that somebody must die in Benue State. It's like a morning ritual that somebody must die in Kogi, somebody must die in Kaduna. So I think we must begin to look at the security architecture. If possible, let us begin, like I said, let us call the international people. After all, we hear about peacekeeping mission. We can call our neighboring brothers like Camerooners. They should come and assist us. Let us not be shy. Let us call them to assist us.
Okay.
The country is in comatose.
Partnership exists already.
Yes, let them come. No, not that kind of. They should come into the country. They
And
should
take
come
it
in and
over.
take. Yes.
And take
We
over
should
the
listen
country.
to them. We are tired.
All right then.
I think it's high time we begin
I
to
think what
move.
is really important is how helpless that some of the state governors feel when it comes to the issue of insecurity and say, oh, it's on the
Yes.
exclusive list. It's they need to deal with it. I understand that there is a style to security measures that, of course, you need the brute force of the military or the police or whatever are in that category. But there is also a form of security that government can provide in this form of policies, in the form of plans or programs that they initiate. One thing that has always, shall I say, stood out for me is the modus operandi of these people. I mean, I hear hundreds of people came in, hundreds. So that means there is a large number of people like this who have taken to a life of crime. Why have they taken to a life of crime? I would basically think poverty is one of the issues that is the bedrock. So if the governments are not dealing with the issue of poverty within their states, and they're not dealing with the issue of education and proper education within their states, that means what you're doing is that you have a breeding ground for potential bandits or potential raidists or potential criminals. And they'll continually be recruited. Even if the army comes in and wipes as many as they can now, and you still have the issue of poverty prevalent, and you still have the issue of illiteracy or uneducated youth who cannot be employed for anything roaming around, they'll fall into that pattern again. So it's always going to be a vicious circle. So if they're dealing with it properly, if they're also bringing down the numbers of people who find themselves under that category as the very poor, if they're doing something actively within their states to push down those numbers, I think in their if you're looking at the entire action, it's to complement that of what the military is supposed to be doing too. But I don't see a lot of that happening in the northern states. I don't see them taking that action to initiate moves to change the life and the quality of a lot of them who have fallen under that radar as extremely poor. You're not doing anything to change it, and you're shocked that you have hundreds of people who are riding bikes. I mean, the other day, someone showed me a picture of the bandits who rode into town, daylight. They rode into town, terrorized some people, and then they rode out shooting sporadically. It was like, this is us. We're doing what we know how to do. And it's because it was like a taunting. You failed and we've taken over. I'm very sure those people, the ones I saw the pictures, didn't go to school, didn't get proper education, and obviously have been very poor for a long period. And if they know that they can ride a bike, have a gun in their hands, and then be 2-3 in a bike going to a certain village, and at the end of the day, maybe when they share their entire money, they have 6,000-7,000 naira. They feel it's a great day for them. They have achieved. This will continue to happen until they sit on the table and change the lifestyle of their people. This is what I think. But I'll have you say something when we come back, because I'm looking at the time, and the news update comes up next. We've already taken 4 minutes of that.
Are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I'm Annie Abdul Salam. Some traditional rulers are sponsoring banditry in Katsina State, the home state of President Muhammadu Buhari. This is according to the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, who is explaining the reason for the hike in violence attacks in Katsina State. Speaking on a television program, Shehu said some traditional rulers have been found complicit in collaboration with the bandits to harm their own people. Shehu said that during the height of violent conflicts in Zamfara, the Nigerian Air Force stationed aircraft in Katsina Airport from where they would launch attacks against bandits in Zamfara. He said once the aircraft took off, some people in Katsina will quickly inform bandits in Zamfara State that an attack was imminent, giving them ample time to take cover. There are indications that Aisha Buhari security aides will face a panel that will be set up by the leadership of the police this week. This follows a shooting at the presidential villa involving Usman Shugaba, the aide-de-camp to the First Lady, and other security agents attached to her. Reports say the affected security aides will not be restored to the wife of the president following their involvement in an altercation with a personal assistant and nephew of the president, Thabiu Yusuf. The IGB, Adamu Mohammed, after receiving security reports at the presidential villa, had ordered the arrest of the ADC to the First Lady and other security aides who accompanied her to Yusuf's residence. Besides the ADC, a chief superintendent of police, others arrested were the escort commander, deputy superintendent of police Sharif Kazim, who is the son of ex-IG Hafiz Ringim, and 4 riot policemen who were at the scene of the incident. The operatives have been held since Friday morning. Nigeria's COVID-19 cases have surpassed 16,000 with a report of 403 new infections last night. In Rivers State, the total number of cases has also risen to 4,089 with the discovery of 7 new cases. The number of recoveries in the state also rose to 211, while the death toll has remained 22. On the foreign scene, French President Emmanuel Macron has announced a number of coronavirus restrictions are being lifted. Cafes and restaurants are reopening across France, and travel to other European countries will be allowed. People will soon be able to visit family members in retirement homes, which have been hit particularly hard by the COVID-19 outbreak. Germany, Belgium, Croatia, and Switzerland are fully reopening borders with EU countries today. Travelers from the UK will be able to visit them without quarantine or restrictions on travel. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Please do not forget, take responsibility, wash your hands frequently with soap under running water, avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent coronavirus. I am Annie Abdul Salam. Have a good morning.
Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It promises to be a beautiful day here in the studio. And of course, we have a guest, a wonderful guest in the studio who will be telling us a whole lot about working online. Of course, he has this wonderful business to introduce to us today. So I have Mr. Lucky in the studio today. Mr. Lucky, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
So Mr. Lucky is a work-from-home business developer, and he will be telling us more about this business today. So Mr. Lucky, you have this new business you want to introduce to us called work-from-home business, that is WFH. We want to know what this business is all about.
Thank you so much. WFH stands for work from home. Working from home with your internet-enabled devices like mobile phones and computers have become our new reality globally today due to rapid global changes. Now, one of such changes that have forever changed the world today is the global pandemic called coronavirus. Countries are on a standstill right now, and global lockdown has become the new world order. And the resultant effect of all this is huge job losses, hunger in the land, poverty, and other attendant economic consequences. So that's why it is imperative for people begin to think out of the box and begin to find other sources through which they can earn money. So while you're staying at home, you can still make huge amount of money from the comfort of your home using your mobile phone, using your internet devices, creating employment for yourself from the comfort of your home. That's what the concept of work from home is. Thank you.
Okay, so talking about working from home, you talked about work online. You know, you're going to put people through working online. So what do you do if you're not a computer literate?
Well, thank you very much for that wonderful question. First of all, I want my listeners to know that your earning is tied to your learning. It is very simple. It is very easy, whether you are literate or illiterate, whether you know how to read or you don't know how to read. It's irrelevant. We are going to give you a hands-on training on how you're going to do this business. You join us online and we teach you how to do all this. It's very simple. We present to you a business called Syri Mall and another business called freefoodsforall.com business, and other line of businesses and jobs that you can do from the comfort of your home and still make money while staying safe in this period of coronavirus. And for the Syri Mall business concept is a simple concept where you register with the Syri Mall online platform, you buy a product and the company sells it for you on the 10th day, and on the 11th day they pay huge profit into your bank account. It's that simple. The company does all the work for you. While for the free food for all business concept, the worth of the food sector in Nigeria alone is worth over 1.2 trillion naira. So there's so much money to be made in the food industry, and that's why the free foods for all.com business concept makes it very easy for everybody to be able to go into the food stuff buying and selling business. Thank you.
This is becoming interesting, Mr. Lucky. So I want to ask you, who are eligible to join your work from home online business class, and how can someone join? We want to know.
Well, thank you very much. Every single individual who wants to create multiple stream of income, every single individual who have dreams and who wants to be financial free is eligible to join this work from home business that we have to offer. It's for the doctors, market women, unemployed, the employed, the students, everybody, irrespective of your educational standard. As long as you have financial needs to meet, then this work from home business concept is for you. Having said that, you need to be able to have multiple streams of income. And now, like we said, sit at home has become the new world order. So we want to ensure that while you're sitting at home, you will be able to make money.
So, Mr. Loki, I'm going to be asking you the final question for today, because I know that so many people will be wanting to know how to reach you, how to get your contacts and all that. Do you have any contact address people can reach you with?
Thank you very much. Our contact address, it's Suite 219 Eugene Shopping Plaza, 14 Woji Road. And our phone number is 081 80689752. I take that again, 081 80689752.
All right, thank you so much, Loki. This is where we begin to draw the curtain for today. The numbers again before we just do our conclusions.
To be part of this online training, text or WhatsApp the word yes to this number 081 806 89752.
Thank you so much for being part of us. Work from home online business ventures today. Thank you so much, Lucky, for making our time to be here.
It's my pleasure.
See you again next time and have a nice day.
Wake up to today's quest.
Wake up.
All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
Opinion poll on today's quest.
More than 3 over 4 of the loots we are talking about in this country today were loots within the 16 years.
Here is a great opportunity to sample all our opinions on the issues
Airman
raised.
Patakat says the PDP is trying to divert our attention because Nigerian funds was looted by the PDP. Melody in Uniport says Madam Jonah is yet to come in terms of the fact that her tenure has expired. Annie, please tell him that investigation is not what you make public until the final stage.
Send your opinion to us on Facebook,
www.facebook.com/Today95.1 FM.
or on Twitter @TodayFM951. You can also sample your opinions with us on WhatsApp or on our SMS portal using the numbers 070-1933-9962. 16 minutes after 10. At least thank God your own death is not by banditry. And we're still on the issues earlier raised. And just in the news, we read, and let me just quickly take us back to it here, where in Katsina State, the senior special assistant to the president on media was explaining the reasons for the hike in violence in Katsina. Speaking on a television program, Shehu said some traditional rulers have been found complicit in collaboration with the bandits to harm their own people. Shehu said this, said during the height of violent conflicts in Zamfara State, the Nigerian Air Force stationed aircraft in Katsina Airport from where they would launch attacks against bandits in Zamfara. He said once the aircraft took off, some people in Katsina will quickly inform bandits in Zamfara State that an attack was imminent, giving them ample time to take cover. You know, again, for me, it just feels like I don't want to take the blame. Let me pass the blame to somebody else while I absolve myself one way or the other. This is what this feels for me because, I mean, when the mics were off, I did mention here that if they knew that some emirs were complicit, what have they done about that so far? Emmanuel?
Well, unfortunately, it's a possibility what they have stated. There's no doubt about it. Fortunately, we'll bring the question, what have you done? At least, like I said in my earlier position, I don't think any group, no matter how formidable, will be stronger than government if government puts its mind and foot down to deal with them. And now, that kind of excuse for me is highly lame. It's a lame excuse. Now, let's say it's true. Like I said, it's a possibility. The emirs. Now, is it the emirs now that govern or that are in charge of Nigeria or government in Asorok? So if you now find the emirs that, let's say, you methodically found out that, yes, as soon as this plane takes off, they make contact with the bandits. And the bandits are the people you are coming after. And now they'll take off from wherever they may be having as their base. What exactly have you done to checkmate these emirs? I think that should be the right thing. So is it not falling into the category of saying the way he described Ango Abdullahi, one-man squad or so? Now you are now telling us it's the emir. Which one is even more shameful? The emir is known. The emirs are known, yet nothing happens to them because maybe you are handicapped. What kind of handicap is that? So for me, I think it's a lame excuse. It's an excuse. It must come from various ways.
All right. Okay. We got your thoughts there. Well, we're winding down. Let me quickly get Dr. Sado's thoughts here. We will think that we'll speak about the issue of insecurity and how to deal with it. Like I mentioned just before we went off, the state governments simply think that it has to do with the military coming in or the police doing something or some joint task force dealing with them by shooting and raiding and bringing these people to book. But is security much more bigger than that? And let's not forget the fact that there is monies allotted for this that goes to the state governors.
Well, even if you were going to look at security from a wider perspective, you're asking yourself, how is it even possible for these small arms to move freely in this country when we know that people are not expected? We don't have any kind of law allowing us to carry arms for personal protection. And so even when you look at it at that level, it's still a failure of governance. It's a failure of the government unable to police its boundaries. And of course, you see that level of tactical indiscipline manifest in what is happening, even with the lockdown, the interstate lockdown, where people will travel 10 states are away. So people are even carrying corpses from Lagos, from wherever, and going to their villages for burial. So you see that level of tactical indiscipline is going to ensure that whatever the minutest fuel that you have in those places to deal with. But now for governors, if we really want to deal with the state of insecurity in this country, I think there has to be a rethink of how we manage our security. Governors must have some parts to the state, not governors now. The states must have some parts to play. If we could have education and concurrent, there's no reason why we shouldn't have some form of devolution of power in security issues to the state, so we'll be able to find a way to deal with it. But that issue, Annie, the mention of emirs, I mean, it doesn't stand to any reason. You know, when I hope that Garuba reads this thing as presidential spokesperson, he reads what he has said. How does he feel that that's what he alleged, that some emirs are complicit? And what have you done to them? And even if you claim that you had a unit of the Air Force in Katsina so you can deal with the issues, how is it possible that the tactical command is unable to manage its information and intelligence, that their operations are also exposed to hoodlum? So I hope these people actually have things, they think and they see these things, and it shows that Garba Shehu completely does not think. He just speaks to defend a position.
All right, got your thoughts there. Daniel Momo.
Annie, I think there are two things there for me. One which is very, very important is the fact that he said as the aircraft were about taking off and information would go out. When Garba speaks, it means that the president, this is the message the president wants us to hear, because it's the mouthpiece of the president. So in other words, this is what the president has said. And the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And if you feel that your personnel's information is leaking from them to the supposedly bandits, I think by now there should be a complete sweep of everyone who works there to know how information gets out of that place, because it's insubordination. It's not permitted in the military circle. That is one. Two, I expect that from what he said now, that emirs are involved. I expect by now some of these emirs should be cooling themselves in military cells and telling the people, and I mean talking to those who will be interrogating them on what they know about this banditry. We have same thing that's happened here in River State, where it was alleged that some royal highnesses are involved in some of these cult related issues. And I know that the governor of the state took a very quick action, and including dethroning some of those persons involved. And I expect that even before this statement is made, that this arrest would have been done. And they will now be told the reason why that arrest was done. But arrest has not been done. They are telling us the reason why this crime is being committed, which for me is a shame. It's a shame on the people who had capacity. It's a shame on the people who we have given our mandates to manage this affair.
All right. And finally, what did you mean?
Yeah, I think Garba Shehu may not be, shouldn't be beaten like this. I think he has every right to defend the administration that pays him. And I'm sure if most of us are opportune to be like Garba Shehu, we'll do same. And it has been there from time immemorial. If you look at when Jonathan was there, we saw his spokesperson, who is from Bayelsa. Today he works with TVC Nigeria. I may not remember his name again. But I saw what that young man did for Jonathan. And that is how it has been from generation to generation. But I think...
Guardian.
No, he works with, he's one of the analysts in TVC Nigeria. I've forgotten his name.
It's Ruben Abati. No, Guardian.
Yeah, so...
Arise TV.
So I think it's been a norm. But what should be done is that the responsibility should fall now. We have a part to play. Each time we blame government, But sometimes we don't even ask ourselves, do we have a responsibility? We have a responsibility. And how do we show that this responsibility? How do we make it? Something just happened recently in America. Floyd Wade, the man that George Floyd, who just died. And we saw what happened. How a girl who took upon herself to video, to take a first account of what was going on. And if not that, she had the sagacity. And it was as a result of that alibi that the whole world, every blacks had to come out. So I think as Nigerians, have we been able, each time we blame government, there is no light today, there is no NEPA today. What about we that have given them the mandate? Have we been able to, how many of us are ready to go to Aso Rock to say, look, please, we are tired of this bad governance. So I think, and the issue of mutiny has been a problem. I read about the account of Nigerian soldier who was telling how they were able to arrive at a particular place. Immediately they arrived. The issue of who becomes the leader, immediately a mandate was given to the officer to lead. The other person was saying, no, we are tired of. So many accounts. And before you know, you see accidental discharge going on. And you see how this Boko Haram are being informed. Before you could even get to Sabisa Forest, they are aware that the soldiers are around there. Is it that we can't get these saboteurs? So it goes to show that even within the military hierarchy, that we are not even organized within the military hierarchy. And that is where restructuring comes in. How do we begin to look at these lapses? We are still using old technology. How do we get these soldiers that are sabotaging effort? How do we get these emirs? It is easy. We have the DSS. What are the functions of the DSS? Is it to carry a gun that is more than 10 meters away, millimeters, and you see them carrying it without even making use of it? This is when we have to deploy intelligentials. When you say emirs, who are the emirs? Are they not human beings? We can deploy DSS to the village, and they will disguise as if they are marketers. Give them